So I'm going to have to switch it on first, apparently. All right, that's working. Right, so just so you know who we are, we're the jazz choir of the University of Bonn. Welcome to everybody. It's our pleasure and honor today to introduce this event to you today. And if you're up for it, if you feel like it, just pop by next Wednesday. We're still looking for members, so come to our practice session. We'll be downstairs in the courtyard in the Arkadenhof. We've got so many flyers that we can hand out, so if you feel like it, do talk to us. And now have some fun with this event. Bye. Thank you.
Ja, ist mein Mikrofon an?
Is my microphone on? Does everybody hear me? A big thank you to our jazz choir. That was beautiful. And welcome to you, our first semester student, here in the auditorium, in the various lecture halls, and in Poppelsdorf, and of course our guests online who follow the stream, who unfortunately can't be here today. We are happy to have you here at the University of Bonn and that you are starting in this winter semester. My name is Judith Reuber. I study here in Bonn, politics and German studies. I will not tell you for how long I've been studying, but I also work for the campus radio, Bonn FM. It's our, as the name suggests, campus radio. It's only made up of students, and we can decide on what we do in our programs and what we broadcast, and we send things 24/7, and we're always looking for new people in our team. However, I'm not alone here today. I'm here with Madita Moos, who works for the General Students Committee. Please come up stage. Maybe you want to present yourselves? Hi, you can hear me, right? My name is Madita. I work for the General Students Committee, the ASTA. We are the executive organ of the Students' Parliament. That means we are looking at decisions, for example, and everyday administration. We are the self-representation of students and the representation of students in general. We are in constant liaison with the university and always defend your or our interests and bring in our perspectives. We also have a broad offer of various services, counseling, certificates. We also have a bike repair shop, but we can also provide legal counseling, for example. You find a lot of information on this also on Instagram, on our website, or also on site. Talk to us. We're in Poppelsdorf, next to the canteen, in a huge container where we wrote ASTA in really big letters on it, so you can't miss us. Or you can also find us in the courtyard, the Info Market. Thank you. Yeah, sure, have a seat. And the third guest is our rector. Please come to stage.
Yes, thank you very much. Welcome to all of you. I am Michael Hoch. I'm of Alemannic origin from southern Germany, as you may be able to tell, but that set aside, I'm the university's rector, so I'm the head of the university. I also had the rectorate with all of the vice rectors. I've been a rector for 7 years now. I was elected rector, and now in my second term of office. I'm a biologist, so I'm a natural scientist, more precisely molecular development biology. I deal with modeling and modeling systems, something that you may have heard about at school. We investigate all sorts of organisms, such as the zebrafish, for example. But unfortunately, my time is limited as rector, so I'm not able to spend so much time on research. I have to cater to administration of the university. I've got a team for that as well, made up of vice-rectorates. We're 8 members of the rectorate. Our provost is also part of the rectorate. and the vice provost as well. But the other vice rectors support me in all academic matters. They have their individual fields of administration that they head, for example, teaching and university development, or knowledge transfer and research. Ms. Räuber will tell you more about that perhaps later. And of course, we're here to answer all of your questions as well. So that's it from me. From my side, I'm happy to tell you more about the university later as well. Thank you very much for having me anyway.
Well, this was a great teaser. So what have we planned for you? We have 3 big blocks. First of all, on the University of Bonn, how we do our studies and our research here. Then counseling and advisory on how we live and house here. And of course, we also have music, culture, etc. here, as you've heard with the choir in the beginning. But before we get started, we would like to get to know you. Please raise your hands if you have already found an apartment here, accommodation. Well, it doesn't look too bad, actually, does it? Okay, and who of you is still looking? Best of luck, definitely. We're crossing our fingers. And maybe you can also get some advice from our student center. Who of you has studied before? Maybe changed subjects? Well, quite a few, actually. Interesting. Okay, let's dive right into our first block. I think throughout the pandemic, we have all understood how important research really is and how essential it is to our everyday lives. The crisis we are facing now is also adding to this. We are constantly asking ourselves, how can we study, how can we teach, and in particular in an international room. We will talk with Ms. Irmgard first. She's the Equal Opportunity Officer here at the university, and she's a vice rector. We will also talk to our vice rector for learning, teaching and university development, Mr. Sandmann. And Professor Dr. Ulrike Münch, our vice rector for international affairs. She's online with us. There she is. Okay. Well, maybe let's start with the easiest question. What would be your advice for first semester students? Mr. Sandmann.
So me first, eh? I think looking forward to the beginning of your studies, that's the most important thing. I don't know how many of you come from different places than Bonn, so wow, okay. The majority definitely is from elsewhere. So if my numbers are correct, you are part of 6,100 students in your first semester, 2,700 who also studied for the first university semester in Bonn. So that means, if I think back to my own studies, which dates back almost 40 years, I started in a completely different city that I didn't know before. I had to find new friends, a new network, and that's probably the most important thing, because most of the questions you may have, you have to solve them in a team, as part of a team. So that's my advice. Ms. Förster?
I think it's turned on. Well, yeah, first of all, a very warm welcome to all of you, also on my behalf. We are a diverse community here. As we've seen, you come from a lot of different cities, different countries. And I think it's really key that everyone settles in, gets to know the city and feels at ease here and at home, and that everyone finds new friends. So I can only agree with what Mr. Sandmann said. Of course, it's also important to get to know the various campuses we have. We don't just have one campus, we have various sites across the city. We have our campus Poppelsdorf, our natural sciences and medicine studies. We have the Venusberg, and our campus Endenig, where we have chemistry and pharmacy, for example. Ms. Mönch.
Hello, I hope you can hear me well. I'm unfortunately not in Bonn today. I would love to be with you, but I'm in St. Andrews. I got a senior global fellowship. You see, I'm old now. I'm a senior now. But many years ago at Heidelberg University, I think it was in 1995, I sat there in the aula like you, and I know that I was very nervous, and everybody was so cool, but I was nervous, and later I knew everybody was nervous. And maybe the first thing you could do today is to ask someone for a coffee later, to go out for a beer this evening. I met close future friends at this event, and so I think you can do the same. My name is Birgit Münch. I'm the Vice Director for International Affairs. And I'm an art historian by training. And you chose a fantastic university with a fantastic cultural environment. And we can talk about this later. And yes, a warm welcome from my side.
Vielen Dank.
Thank you so much. I've said it before, science and research is always important in today's debates. So what are the most topical things that we talk about, and how do we deal with this at Bonn University?
Well, maybe something personal. I was really happy to hear that Svante Pääkkönen received the Nobel Prize, that he was awarded the Nobel Prize for medicine. I don't know if you heard about it. I met him 30 years ago when I did my doctorate in Munich in the Nymphenburg Palace, so the Ludwig Maximilians University, and he visited there. That was the time when the technology that he applied, PCR, that technology was actually invented back then. I just remember those water beds that you had, the enzymes and the solvents that you tried to incubate in those water beds. So that was a really exciting time. And so he came as a visitor, and he spoke about his project to isolate old DNA and extrapolate things from that. That research was obviously very basic back then. And as you may have heard or seen, he didn't know back then where his research would lead him. But it's a thing that I remember well, and that shows how fascinating science or research can be. He was thinking about isolating DNA from old bones. We didn't know how stable such bones were. Today we know that those bones can last for thousands and thousands of years, and so what has come of that is just amazing, and that's what makes up science, really. What science is all about. So be interested, please be curious, because you will be able to maybe promote amazing research projects and chasing such fascinating things. That is what you can do at a university, and of course have fun. That's something I also genuinely support. The close contacts that you may have or create here, many of us, or many people have met their spouses here. It's just so enriching, and whenever I meet people who look back on their time at the University of Bonn, maybe as an ambassador, they say that, you know, I met my spouse here, my partner here, in our canteen, and that's part of life, really. So the university is a living space. There's a lot going on in research, in science, so you will meet people who fascinate you because they've got some charisma and some fire in their eyes. and they may actually, that fire may actually catch on. And yeah, as I said, you may be able to set up these personal ties as well here. And maybe just to finish this, we're hoping to have as much on-site teaching and on-site operations as we can. Despite the coronavirus pandemic, you may know how difficult especially the last 2 years were for the university, both staff and students. We are strongly trying to keep up on-site teaching as much and as long as we can, because it's important for academic life and for society as well. So I call upon all of you to discover things, become discoverers, try to get close ties with amazing people, try to get involved, and to get the most out of this university. And maybe start with it today.
Ja.
Beautifully said. So talking about research and teaching, what can we expect looking at your department, at your prorectorate?
Well, that really depends on the degree programs as well. But Michael Hoch just touched upon this issue. We're just really happy, we're delighted, actually all of the universities in North Rhine-Westphalia, that we can plan for an on-site semester, so on-site teaching this year. And even though we might have more waves of the pandemic or the energy crisis coming up, we're hoping to be able to keep this up. When I started my studies in 1980, for example, when I think back on it, then the fascination that I felt that was conveyed by professors I met, that really had an impact on me. And many of my friends, many of my close friends that I still have, I met at university. But now, going back to this on-site teaching aspect, it doesn't mean that we will just abolish everything in digital format that has proven itself, that proved successful. But still, many surveys have shown that exchange between students is essential. For a successful, fruitful environment here at the university. So coming together, gathering, talking to each other, discussing things, that is really important. And as you just witnessed, our jazz choir, for example, is something, this body, this choir is something that really promotes things, that gets things going, and if they're not able to meet on site, then that really is like a stumbling block.
I think we're all looking forward to the semester. I don't know who of you went to school during COVID, maybe also when you finished school. They're nodding their heads. I think COVID is also something that we should talk about when we think of Erasmus, for example, when people want to go on an exchange year abroad. What are the options for us to go abroad, to study abroad and do research abroad, Ms. Münch?
I need 2 hours to explain that. We have about 600 different cooperation partners. You can go wherever you want to. I'm in St. Andrews now. It's one of our main partners. We have a global network with Waseda in Tokyo and Ghana in Africa, with Emory in the USA and Hebrew. But you can go wherever you want. And I think this is why I chose to stay at the university, because for me, or for us, science is open-minded, and you can choose the city, the country you would like to for your research, and the country you would like to get to know. And we have an international office where you can ask for help. We have international days. They start the 19th of October, and I hope you come to our international days. We have a special Japan Day, but it's a 2 weeks program with talks, with events, with artistic and musician events. And on one day, we have an information desk, a market, and you can ask for any information in regard to going abroad. But I can say my position here as Vice Rector for International Affairs means that I work, you might say, from the cradle to the grave. So, no, I work for the very youngsters. You are the youngsters. You should, decide where to go to. You should, have the wide range. And we in Bonn have so many partners and support, and so you will find your global place in the scientific community.
Da hilft, glaube ich,
Actually, something that also helps in that is the ASTA, our General Students Committee, because you support students as well in that, don't you?
Ein autonomes Referat.
Yes, actually, at the ASTA, we also have an international office for our international students. We help students with our experience. Once you've gone through this process, you know how difficult it can be to study in another country, all this bureaucracy, for example, or accounts. And so it can be really helpful to use the office by ASTA, by other students, and get some help from those who know what it's like. And I actually have a question to Ms. Münch here. I would like to know what's it like for students who have decided to study at University of Bonn, but who are international students who come from another country? Which office does the university have to help them in their everyday lives?
So first of all, you can always write to us, to the rectorate, but of course we have the international office. On there we have a special people who support only foreign students. We have orchestras, as you heard, we have the international choir, we have meetings, we have a wide range of help and support. And we know that after the pandemic, it's even more important to support, because many people had problems to find an apartment because they didn't know, can I go to Bonn? Is it possible or not? So some might be in delay. So we have a wide range of go to the website of the international office or to the website of the Vice Rectorate, and we help.
Ja, bei all diesen Themen, worüber wir jetzt gerade schon geredet haben,
Well, we've covered a lot of topics already, but one thing is particularly important, especially when it comes to feeling good at university, whether people stay here or go abroad. And I think equal opportunities and diversity is the thing we need to talk about, so everyone can seize the opportunities and have the option to get counseling and to feel safe here, to feel comfortable here. So that's really important. What does the University of Bonn offer here? Ms. Förster. Of course, we want to create an atmosphere where we have mutual respect and appreciation. But our university, unfortunately, is not free from discrimination, and we have to make sure altogether to really reduce this level of discrimination. We have various centers with counseling office, for example. ASTA helps out here. We also have psychological counseling, healthcare counseling. And you can always turn to these centers and also let them know what you think, give them feedback. What we, for example, have launched recently is a program for anti-racism. So we have an office now where students can go to when they encounter problems with racism. Not just when they're encountering this, but when they're endowed too, when they feel they've been treated unfairly, when they feel something is wrong, they can go to that counselor and talk with her. She herself, our counselor, has experiences with racism. She's the daughter of refugees, but she's grown up in Germany. And I think that's a first step into the right direction to establish contact and to fight these problems and to help reduce discrimination. However, we are also active in many other areas. We have counseling also for other problems. We have our Equal Opportunity Office. We unfortunately encounter sexual violence and sexual discrimination. This also happens here, unfortunately. And if you make an experience like that, please use our office anytime, our Equal Opportunity and Diversity Office. We will help you out. We will listen and take care of you and of what happened. We want everyone to feel safe and comfortable here at the university, and ideally that there's no discrimination or harassment here. Thank you. Madita, what does ASTA do here, the General Students Committee? We also offer counseling with our autonomous departments that are additional departments that we have on top of the Students' Parliament. We have an assembly for the students, and we also have an Equal Opportunities and Women's Office, for example. They can also support you when you encounter gender discrimination or sexual violence. However, we also have different other support options. For example, when you're studying with a disability, with the children, when you have particular problem, when you need help with the red tape and just need someone to help you fill out a form, for example. We also have an overview on our website. It's really hard to talk about all of this right now. It's ASTA. It's our ASTA website. asta-bonn.de. Well, thank you so much, everyone. It's time for us to say goodbye to you.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll be downstairs at the info stands. So if you've got some questions, talk to us. It's in the maybe just some more information. Actually, in the first row here, we can see colleagues of mine, highly appreciated colleagues from the faculties. So the whole network of the university is present here, and they are ready for your questions. Ms. Räuber, maybe just in this short break, I would like to tell you something about the structure of the university. Maybe if I have about 2 minutes, I can get a short version of that down. Actually, we've got many different disciplines here at the university, degree programs or subjects, about more than 200 really, from archaeology to quantum physics. And those subjects, those degree programs, are organized in academic units that we call faculties. There are substructures, such as departments or institutes, but the major units are called faculties. Bonn has 7 faculties that have historically grown. 5 of them were part of the university ever since it was founded in 1818, and 2 more, the natural sciences faculty and 1 other faculty, the Faculty of Agriculture, actually joined later or were founded later. Those faculties are autonomous independent units. They are headed by the deans, the so-called deans. And I'm really happy to see all of the deans sitting here in the first row, or their deputies. Mr. Kronberg, maybe I can introduce you now. You are the spokesperson of all deans, the dean of the Faculty of Humanities, one of the biggest faculties we have. And of course, you as deans are contact persons for everyone, for all students as well. And of course, the university has its administration that is headed by our provost, Mr. Gottschalk, who can't be here today, unfortunately. But the different units within administration are headed by our division heads. They are also here today, at least some of them sitting in the first row. They are responsible for all administrative matters that we have here at the university, and they make sure that our operations, our university operations, can keep going. And maybe something I'd like to add as well is that Bonn, the University of Bonn, with its 34,000 students, is one of the biggest universities we have in Germany. It has an enormous tradition, a great tradition, and many clever minds, bright minds that studied here, Karl Marx, Schlegel, so philosophers, Nietzsche as well, historians, who all studied here for a while. There were quite a few women scientists at the beginning, but over the course of the centuries, that increased. And it's amazing to have a look at their history and to see what they taught here. Quite a few Nobel Prize laureates as well, who came here to teach. As you may have heard as well, we are one of only 11 universities of excellence here in Germany. There's the Berlin Association that we're a member of, and that is basically the Association of the Universities of Excellence. And we're only part of this association because we managed to secure 6 clusters of excellence in 2019. Those clusters deal with questions for the future, about the future in particular. And just let me point out to you why this is interesting to you. I think within Europe, our mathematical institutions are definitely one of the strongest. We're among the top 5 worldwide. And so that means that we can attract brilliant minds here, especially for mathematics. We've got our Hausdorff Center for mathematics that deals with mathematical models. We've got another cluster in quantum physics. Actually, the Nobel Prizes for physics were awarded to quantum physics today. So quantum physics is a strong point with us here as well. Next generation computers are developed here, or at least we're trying. You know, you never know if you're successful, but it's the path that you're embarking on that matters. Then we have the only cluster in economics here in Germany, together with the University of Cologne, which is about new markets and KI impact on markets and the question of how stable they are. And of course, as we can see in this discussion about the gas market today, those are quite some important questions to solve and to answer. Then another cluster concerns the agricultural sector. Of course, nutrition, food, and all of these aspects, meat consumption, all of that is investigated and examined in this cluster. And that's definitely going to be an important issue in the future as well. So new nutrition systems, but also in terms of arable land, how we can grow food sustainably and environmentally friendly, how we can apply things on arable land with automation. So the future of agriculture 4.0 is investigated in that cluster. If you like machines, if you like technology, work with drones, then this might be a good thing for you. It might be the right fit for you. But also, if you're interested in soil biology, microbiology, it's just the same thing. Then we've got another cluster for medicine, for immunology. The human immune system is the basis for many processes that we have in our body. especially when when the immune system is affected in a negative way. So, for example, if we consume different food, at least other food than our body tells us, then we might get inflammations, sterile inflammations as they are called. And those occur in many illnesses and diseases, and that's what this cluster for medicine, for immunology, focuses on. All the mechanisms of the natural immune response. And COVID actually our cluster also made an important contribution to the COVID research. Then there's one other cluster. As you can see, I'm really fascinated by all of these fields and clusters myself as a natural scientist. The last cluster deals with society and how society is built, how society is set up and made up. What we can learn from society developing ever since the 15th century. Participation, involvement, how these aspects impact our society. So I think those were the 6 clusters of excellence we have, don't we? Yeah, we would have liked a 7th cluster, but that wasn't possible. So those are the 6 clusters, and there are many more subjects and degree programs that we have. I just mentioned archaeology, how fascinating it is to use modern technology to get fossils up to the ground, that you can use molecular biology or at a molecular level use technology to see what an organism ate. So we're in an age of interdisciplinarity and transdisciplinarity, where many issues of the future can only be addressed in a transdisciplinary way. Environmental research, for example, also ties in with climate research, with physics, with economy. If we think about CO2 prices and all these things. So this is the time to look beyond one's own discipline, and that's the University of Bonn is an amazing place to do that.
Ja, und ich würde sagen, das alles möglichst gut.
Well, and to enjoy this the most and to experience it in the best way, I think you also have to be able to live well in Bonn and enjoy the student's life. You said it, maybe people will also meet their future partners at the canteen. It's a nice image, a nice comparison, and we've heard it in the beginning, housing is a big topic that affects all of us, and because the housing market is quite difficult, it can also cause worry. So we would like to talk about this with Jürgen Huber from the Studienanfänger. Please come to the stage.
Nach vorne bitte. Genau. Und ein weiterer Aspekt.
And there's another aspect that I think is something that we all struggle with at times, and that you will probably think about in the next semesters, and that is doubts when it comes to your studies, whether you've picked the right program. But it's important that you know where to turn to, who to turn to, and how you can change things. So I'm happy to welcome Sandra Schramm from our Central Study Advisory and Counseling Service.
Und wahrscheinlich habt ihr auch schon eure Fachschaften kennengelernt.
And you've probably met your students' associations with bar crawls, etc. And if you haven't met them yet, you can meet them at the Info Market later after this event. We would like to talk about the students' associations with Jean Bukowski. He's the head of the ASTA Students Association Department.
Ich würde hier vorne direkt anfangen. Was ist denn das Studienanfänger?
Well, what is the Studienanfänger, the student service organization?
Well, first of all, welcome to all of you, all of first semester students. I hope that you arrived here in good health at the University of Bonn. So what is the Studierendenwerk Bonn? For many of you, it's probably an abstract structure. Of course, you probably know what a canteen is, what a daycare service is. You may have heard about BAföG, if you're a German national. All of that are issues that the University of Bonn, that the Studierendenwerk Bonn deals with. We are independent, but obviously we cooperate quite closely with the university. We're basically responsible for everything non-academic. Everything you need for living here in Bonn. Of course, you need a space, some accommodation, you need food. You may even need an application for BAföG to finance your studies. You may encounter troubles and problems during your studies, and we have support and offers that may be able to help you in that. Use our university, studierendenwerkbonn.de. You'll find all the contact details that you need, and please come forward and talk to us if you have an issue or a problem.
Counseling, that's the right word for Ms. Schramm. If I have a problem, where can I find you and how do you help me? First of all, also very warm welcome on our behalf. We have heard a lot about advisory and counseling services here, and you might think another service for that. The Central Study Advisory and Counseling Service is actually responsible for being the center in this large network of services, of counseling services. So whichever your problem may be, you can come to us and we will help you. We will have a look at your problem and direct you to the right counseling service. For example, for your department counseling service, when you need more flexibility in your program, or when you're thinking about another major, for example, or maybe switching a module, or do it next semester. Our colleagues will help you out in the departments and the faculties. Of course, we can also talk about how to finance your studies, especially when it comes to BAföG, and then we can talk to the Studierendenwerk. We also know all the great offers that the AStA has, the General Students Committee, or maybe you just want a neutral opinion from someone and talk to someone. Maybe someone who has a qualification, a certificate as a psychologist. And this is when we are the right point of contact for you. Also, when you're not sure about whether having chosen the right subject, maybe, or whether university is for you at all. So really also life-changing topics and topics that can actually drive you into a crisis. We are there for you. We have offers for you. We can support you in individual counseling meetings, but also with workshops and coachings. Of course, exams are always very stressful for many people, and sometimes people develop worries or anxieties regarding exams and overthink exams independent of whether they're able to actually do this on a technical level. It's just that they're so stressed that they think they can't get through it alone. It's important that you recognize the signs and actually talk to us early on, maybe have a coaching so you get back to this confidence and to this control over yourself, that you can actually make it and that you can finish your studies. And this is where we will support you. Thank you so much. From experience, I think that doubts regarding universities and your studies, or when you feel lonely, when you haven't found friends yet, actually, our faculty student councils are really important. They are a great means to get together, to meet people who study the same thing as you, where you can ask them, I haven't been to this module, can you maybe give me your notes from the last seminar? Or talk about private problems. But I think a lot of our guests here don't actually know what the faculty student council actually does. Generally speaking, you're all part of
a faculty student council, and there are 38 different faculty student councils, actually. Those councils represent you before the university or the individual faculty. But also, as Judith just mentioned, we organize events for you, first semester students events, for example. We address questions such as how can a first semester students get into their studies, or maybe you may have a question regarding if you really want to pursue the studies that you started with, then we're here for you to facilitate exchange between you and other students of your faculty, and that's basically what we do.
And what does the Department for Faculty Student Councils do?
The department is basically responsible for the coordination between those 38 faculty student councils. Obviously, money also plays a role. We administrate and manage the funds that are available. For example, if there are issues in the Catholic, the Faculty for Catholic Studies, for Catholic religion, then maybe they have different requirements than another faculty, and we try to coordinate everything so that no one gets left behind. What I actually also like is that a faculty student council is always made up of students of different ages, specifically with regard to the progress you've made in your studies. So you may be able to exchange views with very experienced students and get some tips from them, or maybe even material. And I won't touch upon that in detail, but yeah, maybe they can help you as well. Just talk to those faculty student councils if you want to know more about that, but they can definitely help you. Yeah, and they will be down in the Arkadenhof as well, so just talk to them. Of course, as the rector just mentioned, there are students of all ages in those faculty student councils, so you've got every opportunity to talk to people in different states of their studies and get your questions answered, whichever they may be or whatever they may be.
Maybe one thing could also be interesting. We've talked about the canteens. Maybe you have seen the tent in front of our main building, the canteen tent. What is the state of the planning here? What will happen to our various canteens? Many of you might not even know a second canteen at Nassestraße. Yeah,
I think that the Mensa Nassestraße is, yeah, that's a different thing. Our original canteen was built back, basically, because of construction work. But we think that from 2025 onwards, we may be able to open the new canteen, Mensa Nassestraße. And so you will hopefully be able to witness all of that. It won't only be a canteen just for consuming food, but also a space for working, for just being, for meeting with other students. Please be patient. We have tried to find a good interim solution with the canteen marquee, the canteen tent in the Hofgarten. You can get good food here with us. It doesn't have to be meat every day. I do like meat myself, and I'm happy to admit that, but I also like some vegan food every now and then as well. And I think the price performance ratio here in terms of our food is quite good. But we're also open to your criticism. Obviously, we want to develop further. There will be a workshop in the fall, in this autumn, where we will take a closer look at the criticism that was brought forward by students, and I'm hoping that we can improve further.
Well, and for those of you who are in Poppelsdorf and probably also study there, we also have a huge canteen there, Campo.
Exactly. The Campo Mensa, Campo Canteen, which was reconstructed in 2016. Use it, make use of it. They've got some amazing food on offer. And we shouldn't forget the Mensa, the canteen on the Beensberg for all medical students. So just try them all. Then we're also responsible for the canteen in Rheinbach for the University of Applied Sciences.
Maybe you can find out where the food is best. Now let's go back to the advisory and counseling services. If I have a problem, if I don't feel well in my studies, how can I reach you? Where can I find you, Ms. Rum? And do I need an appointment? Do I have to call you, or can I just come by? Actually, all of these things work. We are on Poppelsdorfer Allee 49 in the Meinhard Heinze house. That's where you also find the student registry and other services for students. And it's actually a really nice location because it's between the main building and our campus Poppelsdorf, our biggest campuses here at the University of Bonn. So independent of where you are, we are always easy to reach for you. We have hours of the day where we have open appointments, where you don't need an appointment, but you can also make an appointment when you say, okay, I need more time to have an individual discussion with someone, especially when it comes to psychological counseling, but also when it comes to your program, for example. It doesn't have to be a psychological problem. Sometimes it's useful to have more time on your hands and really take the time to talk 30, 45 minutes about your issues. And in these cases, you can actually make an appointment with us. It's quite easy and usually quite fast, often the next day or the same day if it's necessary, or within a couple of days. So you really have the option to get an appointment. We take the time to talk to you. Of course, being on site and talk face-to-face is really important to us, so we do face-to-face talks if you want to, but we can also do the counseling on the phone or online in a Zoom call. Thank you so much. And what about the ASTA? If I need counseling, can I also just come by, or do I have to talk to the faculty student councils? Well, both actually. We have these open hours for our counseling where you can just come by. But you can also, especially when it comes to psychosocial counseling, for example, make an appointment, talk to our counselors, and then maybe also make an appointment where you stay a long time and nobody will disturb you or interrupt you. Our counseling is mostly inter-faculty counseling, so it's not just about specific problems that you have at a faculty. When it comes to faculty-student councils, for example, we also have counseling on housing, when you have problems there, when you can't find an apartment. So we have students who help out people who maybe have found an apartment as well, but who are not happy in their everyday lives yet. So we try and find a flatmate for them. We help out with the student work. We have the Freitisch, the free table, for students who have financial problems, so they can get free meals at canteens, or maybe also short-term loans. So we help you out with everything that's not directly linked to your studies or your subject, but I think other people can explain that better than I can.
So you mean in terms of the technical side of things? No. Well, the Students' Committee, ASTA, is basically cross-faculty, has cross-faculty responsibility, and the faculty-student councils is more focused on the individual faculties and offer their counseling and advisory services. Sometimes if the faculty-student councils realize that a problem is too big, then they go and talk to the ASTA. Obviously, we're all volunteers that basically sacrifice their leisure time, their free time for all other students, which we like and we love. but sometimes we just have to rely on the skills of the AStA or other bodies at the university. Usually, the faculty student councils should at least know where to guide you, where to tell you where you need to go to find help. Maybe you want to know more about your individual studies from the 1st to the 5th semester. For all such things, our faculty student councils are the go-to places.
Now we've talked about the students' lives a lot, and going to the canteen is really important, as we've heard. But let's have a quick round. What's the best part of being a student, especially when you start out?
Spontaneously, that's difficult. I think the flexibility to structure your own life, knowing that you have to attend some courses, but you know the flexibility that you have in constructing everything around it. I would add that, you know, getting to know other people from other nations, other countries, other cultural spaces, that was what was most fun to me.
I think you learn an incredible amount of things, not just during lectures or seminars. It's also linked to flexibility that you just mentioned as well. I think most of us don't come from Bonn. I'm not from Bonn. I come from a small town, and a lot of the offers where you can just try out things didn't exist in my hometown, and you can really grow personally from that. Yes, I agree. Growing, the growth you make here, accepting challenges and really evolving and making it to experience yourself as an autonomous being, self-reliant. I think that's a beautiful thing and a really important experience that you make during this time of your lives.
Well, I'd just say, you know, enjoy the freedoms that you still have. There are many people at my age that say our studies at university, our time there was the best time in our lives. So look to your left and to your right, try to get in touch with people, be curious and open to other things. That's really important. Just look beyond what's right in front of you. And if you take a semester more to study or finish your studies, then that's no big deal. Getting to know the beautiful sides of your studies is really important as well. So don't only pursue your degree with utmost ambition.
Ja, ich muss jetzt ganz peinliche Eigenwerbung machen.
I actually have to make an advertisement for ourselves here. Our campus radio, for example, all the initiatives that you can get active in, where you can meet people, are really great too. And you will meet a lot of them at the info market that's happening downstairs right afterwards. And I think my colleague Marlene is downstairs. So what can our first semester students expect? They can expect quite a lot here in the Arkadenhof. They have built their booths here, and we have Wheels of Fortunes, for example. We have 26 organizations and programs from the university here that you can get to know downstairs here. I will talk to 3 programs now, and I will talk to our team sustainability first. I'm talking to Jennifer here. Sustainability, the team for sustainability, sounds quite general. What do you do? Our team is made up of the Prorectorate of Sustainability, the Staff Center, and our Green Office. We work together as a team and coordinate the transformation process of the university, turning it into a more sustainable university. When we're trying to achieve our goal of having a culture of sustainability, that means that this covers all areas of university life, so from administration to research, and to make sustainability a key part of all of these areas. So it's also about visibility of topics, of actors. And we have a lot of them at our university, actually. We also want to support initiatives in this area. And we also have some of them at our booth today, too. I have seen your booth. Maybe you can have a look. That is the booth. We have a couple of tote bags here. And I was wondering, what is inside those bags? Yes, those are our sustainable first semester bags. We have included quite a lot of things in there. We have fruits or vegetables. It's a bag that you can use for fruits or vegetables. When you go shopping, we have information on sustainability at the University of Bonn and small things that can help you out when you're starting your studies. Sustainability really is a key topic, especially for our students, but Asta is just as important. You have met her chair, the head of Asta, but it's also represented downstairs here. Alex, what can we find regarding the Asta in the Arkadenhof today?
Well, thank you. I'm here from the queer department of Asta. We've got our cultural department as well here today. They organize a lot of theatrical events here. Of course, the student committee Asta is about the self-administration of students, and whoever wants to join us is welcome. We at the queer department also organize quite a few events.
And what do you offer to first semester students in particular?
We've got our semester flyer here that I'm holding in my hand. Our program is set out in there until February. Then we'll have our semester reception in a few days for everyone who's interested. And just, come by or send us an email or write us a message on social media, and you're free to come to our sessions as well.
So if you have time, come downstairs. They are here the Asta is downstairs here. They can offer a lot. They have a lot of leaflets and flyers. And now I'm talking to Christine Lawrence from the University Sports. It's also really important. Moving is important, and you also look quite athletic. Actually, the University Sports was the first thing I signed up for before signing up for any seminars when I was in my first semester. What do you have on offer for our first semester students? We have a broad offer. We have over 90 different offers, so I think everyone can find a thing that they're interested in. We have traditional things like football or handball, but we also have dance classes, pole art, salsa, and calisthenics. So you train with your own body weight. And we also have plogging. That's actually jogging and collecting trash. We have initiated this with the sustainability team, and we would love to see you at our plogging sessions. Great. I have also heard that you have a special program in front of the university that will take place later. What is it? Yes, we will have a human table soccer tournament. It will start at 3 p.m. You can still sign up at our booth. We will have small teams, and we are looking forward to seeing you. Please join us, and we will have a winner in the end. Human table soccer, so how does that work? You have human players. Exactly. It's quite a big inflated field. You have poles that you hold onto, like you do in table soccer, and then you kick the ball in your team, just that, like, from football. Well, it's the first time I heard of this. Thank you. So you can already see there's a lot on offer here, a lot to discover. Of course, Bonn FM also has a booth here, just to let you know again who we are. I will have a tour now and look at the booths, and I hope you will enjoy the offer too. And we head back to the auditorium now. Thank you so much, Marlene. Let's give a warm hand to Marlene. The info market will take place in the Arkadenhof in the courtyard. You have probably walked through it to get upstairs here to the auditorium. So please go downstairs. Really, it's a warm recommendation on my behalf. Talk to people, get stickers and bags and stuff. Thank you so much to our guests here on stage. It's time for us to say goodbye to you now for this block. Thank you so much for being here. Please leave the microphones on stage.
zum Studierendendasein.
Now, talking about the life of students, it's also important to talk about that we get to know ourselves, to try out who we are, to make new experiences. And how could we do this? Is there any way to better do this than using arts and culture? We will talk to Valentin from our music forum. Please come to the stage, Valentin. And with Katharina Roth from the Literarium and Atelier.
Schön, dass ihr da seid.
Thank you for being here. Valentin, maybe you would like to start and let us know what the Music Forum is and what you do.
Yes, of course. I'm happy to. Welcome to all of you. As you could witness at the beginning of this event, you saw what we do, among other things. We have 9 different ensembles in our music forum. We present all of the concerts, such as the ones of the jazz choir. We have different orchestras, a vocal ensemble. So the forum is basically the central point where everything comes together, where we manage those ensembles, where we secure or organize practice rooms, places where they can practice. The closing concerts of each semester are organized by us. And of course, we want to encourage you to be a part of those ensembles, such as of the jazz choir. They've already mentioned their practice sessions that you can join if you want to. The other ensembles as well have their special sessions where potential new members can join. So if you are interested, then just pop by at our info booth, and I think it would probably be too much to introduce all of the ensembles in detail here, but maybe if I can answer one question before it's even asked. The highlight of this week for first semester students could be the party concert, which is a format that we haven't had yet here at the University of Bonn. It's going to take place here. It's going to go down here in the auditorium, where a classical orchestra is going to play pop music, so something that definitely doesn't belong to the program of a usual classical orchestra. Of course, there will be food and drinks as well. It could be a nice evening, and hopefully all of you, or most of you, will decide to come. Of course, music means that you meet people on campus or see people on campus and you know, okay, he's in my ensemble. And then, you meet with those people as well.
Thank you. Same question to you, Katharina. What is the Literarium and the Atelier? What do you do? A warm welcome also on my behalf, first of all. The Literarium and the Atelier are a central office of the university. A couple of days ago, we also still had our festival here that I am making a commercial here with my pullover, and the festival is not over yet, the Blattgold Festival. The Literarium is a place where you can look into language, theater, and arts. We have creative writing workshops for beginners and for experts. So if you're interested in novel writing and creative writing, if you maybe have a couple of texts in your drawer, that's the right place for you. We have a book club. I'm also part of it. We have various workshops and clubs, and we have our atelier, where we have countless artistic offers. We have photographing sessions, we have screen printing, ceramics, all kinds of classes that you can sign up starting next Monday. I would like to point to our website here, literarium.uni-bonn.de, literarium with a double T. And you find all of our offers there, from literary and musical evenings to theater sessions to a jazz bar. We really have everything. And maybe we'll meet there. I'm also quite active in this field. We are right next to the university, so if you head out and walk into the direction of the central station, you will walk past a green golden window, a shopping window, where we still have our ads up for our literature festival that is not over yet. As I've said before, it's still ongoing. And we will have a charity reading where you can also present your text, and our cultural head will also be there and take care of you. So please send an email, sign up. It's an incredible, beautiful place to meet new people. We've heard it before today. Fun is part of going to university, finding friends, and making new connections. I have met so many great people at the Literarium, some of my best friends, actually. And the great thing is that it's not just people who study German studies or literature like me. It's also other people. It's people who study IT, mathematics. There's a sociologist or people who study geography. So if you're interested in culture, arts, music, literature, the Literarium and Atelier are the right place for you. When you want to sign up for the classes, you will have priority as first semester students, but let me tell you, the seats in our classes are limited, so please sign up very fast. You don't need prior experience. We are always open to new people, and maybe we'll see you there. Maybe, Valentin, a similar question to you. Why should I join the Music Forum? How is that enriching to me?
I think there are many reasons for that, at least that I can count. After all, everyone can come to us as a central point of contact. So it's not as it is with the Literarium that you have to register or sign up. You just, speak to us, talk to us. It's personal contact. Talk to the conductors, maybe, who are down in the courtyard as well. It's very diverse. The Music Forum is very diverse. We have huge support from the university, which even gives us the opportunity to travel, make short trips together in our ensembles. And maybe that's something that you don't really experience in your usual studies. It's something about growing together, forming a community. And beyond that, I think music is a good way to get distracted, get distracted from your usual studies. Music brings up memories and emotions that are very different in each and every one. That's what music is all about, essentially. And the Music Forum, as an institution of the university, looks to give this opportunity to everyone to experience that. Of course, we're also available per email. We're also based in the main building, just one floor above this one. Come by whenever you can, whenever you want to, and we'll have some fun.
And how much Beethoven do you play? That's important to know in Bonn.
Well, I have to think carefully about that. I think in the big symphony orchestras, they don't have Beethoven on their program this year. But in terms of music or musical information, there are many other opportunities and formations that you may want to join, which already practice, and you may ask yourself, is there already a series of concerts for chamber music? For example, in the festivity hall of the university, there are really nice rooms and places where it's just very enriching to make music in there. So, Beethoven is a part of our chamber music program every now and then, but not for our symphonic orchestras, at least not this year.
This is to mention that we also have an offer for them. So there is an international choir, I think with more than 50 or so members. They were very active also in the digital age. So they were designing songs, you know, across the continents recently by doing that online. So it was very, very interesting the way that they performed across nations even, you know. So take a look at that. And so I'm not sure, is there also an offer in a literature course or so for international students? Do you have anything?
Do you want me to answer in English?
Yes, of course.
German?
No, please do it in English.
So the Literarium of the university so far only offers writing courses and book clubs in German, but I do know that the Anglistik, so the Institute for English and American and Celtic Studies, which I'm also a part of, they do offer, there's a Bonn speculative fiction book club. They are hosting a writing competition every semester, so that is open to all. Yeah, so that's definitely another offer that we have, not from the Literarium itself, but and they do theatre, they do all of that as well. So that's definitely something that you should look into, because it's a great way to meet other people from other cultures, but also simply different scientific disciplines. So that's definitely something that you can look into, and a good way to sort of find a balance between uni stress and exams and term papers, and then, I don't know, go to, I don't know, theatre presentation of the evening. I think that's the glory of the city here, is that you have so many museums, you have the opera, you have theatres, there's so many, so much stuff to do, really. So you don't always need to travel to Cologne. Bonn itself already offers quite a lot, and so check out their website. We are on Instagram, so is the English department. So I can only encourage you to have a look at that.
Ja, ich erinnere mich auch an ganz viele tolle Projekte, die wirklich.
I can also think back to a lot of great programs where we really connected people here at the University of Bonn. During the pandemic, we had, correct me if I'm wrong, but our international choir had a project where they did a video collage and created a beautiful song that they sang together. Or when the war in Ukraine started, we had a singing human chain. And so we have projects like these. You also put a little teaser in there. What can we expect this week? What's coming up?
Insgesamt,
Well, I think generally speaking, downstairs, if you talk to us in the courtyard, our ensemble heads, our conductors can tell you more. I think in the course of the semester, we will have more than 10 concerts. So to all of you who are interested in that, I can only recommend that. Then I would also like to mention that there are projects that happen internationally, on an international basis. We cooperate with the University of Cologne in this respect. And also because the university has such a big tradition, there will be a jubilee concert, an anniversary concert of the jazz choir. And then there will also be a collaboration with the music, with the choir in Cologne, with the music forum there, which doesn't organize concerts as a classical choir, but yeah, as we said, there are many initiatives coming out of the choirs or ensembles directly, so you never really know what you can expect in the coming few months. But luckily, we can build on the flexibility that the university gives us. Sometimes it's difficult also to set up concerts. But you know, check out our flyers downstairs at the info market, or posters that you see, a few stickers and pencils, you know, the usual material that you are happy to grab as a student.
Thank you. I think it's time to wrap up this blog now, too. Thank you so much for being our guests and to letting us into culture a little bit.
Ja, und bevor wir gleich zum Infomarkt
Now, before we all go outside, run outside to the info market. Don't run, please. It's not safe. So please go at a slow pace. Thank you so much for joining this event today, also in the other auditoriums or lecture halls, in Pottelsdorf, at home. Thanks to the deans, to the organizers, and everyone here on stage. Mr. Hoch, would you like to say something?
Well, I definitely don't want to miss to say thank you to everyone who organized this event. Ms. Schaffrath, who's in the background, but this round of applause goes to you. Great. Yes, so she just represents everyone who's been involved in this event and organizing it. I just want to say I'm delighted. I think this is a record. 2,000 first semester students here today. That is definitely a record number. So I hope that we could inspire you with what we said today. Please ask everyone who is downstairs in the courtyard, if you have questions, you know, that they're out there in the cold trying to keep warm, and they're just waiting for you to visit their information booths. Just a final remark, I want to strongly recommend you to become committed in either the Students' Committee or any other student body at the university, just as Bonn FM as well, and or the faculty student councils that we've heard of. You know, there are many different bodies at the university, and our students are a vital part of our university. So it's important that we support each other, staff and students, teachers and students, especially during times such as the coronavirus pandemic, where we try to find good solutions and really need to cooperate firmly. So please do commit yourself to a university body, a student body, if you can. It's great what they do. So thank you to you as well, Ms. Moos.
Well, of course, I'm biased, but it's always great to join the ASTA or the SP, and we are looking forward to talking to you downstairs at the Info Market. We will stay there, and I think you can talk about a lot of topics there with us. Maybe if you need more insights, more detail on some topics, so ask questions, talk to us and find out what you want to know, and it's great to get to know each other. We will also have a party tonight. Maybe you've heard about that. We will have this party at the Säulenhalle. It starts at 6 p.m. You find this hall, the Hall of Pillars, downstairs on the ground floor. Excuse me?
Okay.
All right.
Ich bin ein bisschen irritiert jetzt.
Sorry, I'm a bit confused.
Die Ehrenhalle, Entschuldigung.
Oh, it's the Ehrenhalle.
Ist er beim Erdgeschoss?
Excuse me.
Okay.
It's downstairs, right? Okay. So it's on the ground floor, the Ehrenhalle, and it's a great opportunity to maybe get to know people better, talk to those people you've seen before, and to dance, have some fun, and have a fun night. Now, before we officially close this event, we have prepared a little something for you, and that's a short clip that will give you an impression of our university and what studying here is like. So I think it should start now.
Ja, und in diesem Sinne freuen wir uns dann mit euch jetzt
Right,
rüber
so on this note, we're looking forward to go downstairs with you
Das ist so eine
to the
aufregende
Info
Zeit, die ihr
market.
gerade
It's a
durchlebt.
very
Ganz,
exciting
ganz
time for
viel
all of
Glück
you, we
dabei,
know that.
ganz viel Spaß.
I wish you the best of luck. And stop, please, wait. A big thank you to Ms. Räuber as well. Thank you, thank you. Okay, excellent.